Welcome back to another episode of Clueless, y'all. Today we have a special guest. Today we have someone awesome that she gave up her time to be here, so it's amazing. And today we have a very special topic, like always. And we're gonna go ahead and introduce ourselves from my left, your guys' right, and down.
Hi, this is Alondra.
What's good, y'all? We're back. This is Andres.
What happened there? Your voice went a little. What's going on, y'all? This is Josh, and we're back, and we're better. Como dice Andres.
And this is Paul. Yo.
Yes, sir. Hey, honestly, it feels weird not having the headset for me. I gotta hear everything. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying, y'all, today we have a very special topic, very important. Today we will be talking about actually, go ahead and hop on it. Tell them what we're talking about.
Today we're going to speak on leadership in regards to traits, characteristics. I look into leadership, whether it's a relationship, whether it's in work, whether it's at work, whether it's in the church, godly friends in general, and then just being a leadership through being a brother, a sister, a son, a daughter, and just being a leader in regards to all around, because that's what Jesus wants us to be. God wants us to be all leaders, but definitely it's gonna be good just speaking about being a leadership in the home, being a leader in the church. So we're excited for this one.
Yeah, this one's gonna be good because everyone has different opinions, different thoughts of what a leader is, and what they expect in a leader. I think that's the most importantly. Like, what do you expect in a leader? Sorry about that noise. And go ahead and let me all know how my hair looks, because my hair's a little messy. So
It's good, bro.
but let me ask y'all, what is a leader to you guys? Like, top of your head, like what's a leader to you guys?
I'll go first. I think a leader definitely is someone who just leads by example. Definitely leads by example. There's different types of leaders, and just because you have a leader status doesn't mean that there's a difference between someone who's a leader and a difference between someone who's put in a higher position, right? So I think
That was good.
just because you're in a high position does not mean that you're going to be a good leader. You have to have those characteristics of leading by example, right? You want to ensure that everyone's on the same page, or at least that you're doing your best so that everyone can follow you, right? Just as the man, the greatest man who ever lived and continues to live, Jesus, he led by example. And I actually want to start off with the Bible verse, actually. So we'll go with Mark 10:43, which is, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant.
Yeah.
And whoever wants to be first must be slave of all. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. So I think what I take out of this verse is that we're here to obviously serve others, right? Not take pride, not to be selfish in regards to when we're a leader, but instead to, like I said, help others, whatever it is that they need, be there for them, be a leader. Like I said, you're a leader. Everyone's a leader. You're a brother, you're a sister, you're a daughter, you're a son. Whatever it is that you are a leader. So make sure to lead by example. That's what Jesus did. Like I mentioned, he came here to serve. The greatest man, our God, our Lord, he came here to serve. So I think that's something that we need to do and just serve and be here for others. And once you do that, I think that's when people also want to not follow you, but also want to be there with you. They trust you. They like being around you and all of that. So I think, at least for me, that's what it means to be a leader.
Yeah, you set the ball high, bro. You were speaking facts.
Yep.
And before I go to the next one, I forgot to introduce our Lord and Savior's right here, Jesus Christ, just letting you guys know. But what about you two? So what do you guys think a leader is? He hit it on the money.
He hit it good, bro.
So
At
if you
this
guys wanna
point, we can just
piggyback,
move
go for it.
on, bro. But dang, no, I think you're right, bro. I mean, somebody who leads by example. That's literally the best way you can put it, bro. Someone who leads by example, a leader. I mean, how do you lead? Lead by example. You can't be telling somebody to do something and you're not doing that, you know.
Yeah,
So it's like,
I agree.
I don't know. You just hit it on the spot.
You hit it
bro.
on the money, bro. You hit it on the money,
You
like,
hit it
yeah.
there, bro.
What about you? Alondra.
No,
She'll drop her Instagram for you guys too. Don't worry about it.
No, I won't.
Don't even worry about it.
No, I definitely think he took the words right out. No, yeah, that was really good.
And I apologize completely 100%. I completely forgot to ask you. Tell us something about yourself. Since you're new here, tell us something about yourself. Something interesting. Sorry to just kind of, everything's all mixed up, but we're going with the flow.
Um,
How long have you been in this journey with the Lord and Savior? Like, tell us.
So I've been on this journey. I want to say it's been on and off for a few years, actually. I've always, I came to Jesus, and then I would always go back into the world for, I want to say, about 5 years straight. But eventually, I went through something in my life that after being part of the world for, I want to say, about 2 years, I came to Jesus. It just, that moment in my life just led me to him completely. And that was, I want to say that was about 9 months ago that I completely, dedicated my life to him. And I'm I'm here to stay, right? So yeah, I think finding Jesus has been the best thing that has, honestly, the best decision I've ever made. And once you get to know like his love, you won't ever go back. You won't ever go back. And his love is the most beautiful thing that you can possibly ever know. So yeah.
I love it.
Facts.
Thank you for sharing. That was facts. Look at you. You were nervous. Para nada, That's, thank you for sharing. I love it. I was going to say for me, like, leader is someone who just, to shorten it up, someone who puts your needs above them. If I had to describe it in one way, is a leader is someone who becomes the mat for everyone else, a doormat, where everyone else is going to come and wipe their feet on you. They're going to come and judge you. They're going to come and laugh at you. They're going to come and point fingers. They're going to hate you. They're going to love you. And regardless, you're going to be there to clean those feet. And you're going to respect them. I think that's what a leader is. That puts you before them and becomes a mat. That's just the way that I would put it. Yeah, I totally forgot my other question. Did you have any other questions about leadership?
I think, what are some key characteristics that you guys think a leader should have? Or distinguishes someone who is a leader compared
Humble.
to someone who is not?
Discipline.
Discipline. Humble
and discipline.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That honestly could take you a long way, bro.
Yeah.
Humble and discipline.
That's the main one, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, because if you're disciplined, you discipline enough to in your finances, in your health,
Yeah.
in the way you are in life, everything, bro.
Yeah.
You're just disciplined in that. Bro, and then
Confidence.
you're humble.
Confidence.
You can be confident and
confidence.
Yeah.
Yes.
humble, bro.
Yes.
Because then it's just arrogance. And
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I definitely agree. Confidence. The ones you guys were saying. Confidence was a good one, actually. But not to like mistake confidence from cockiness, like he was kind of saying. That's where we had to, like, differentiate it, because some people can be cocky, and that's it. Oh, she comes on the show a lot.
Special guest.
Yeah, special guest. Her name's Whiskers. No, but I definitely do think confidence is one, and all the characteristics that we said. So how do you know when someone has that? Because obviously they're not gonna go up to you and be like, "Hey, I'm a confident leader. I'm a confident." So how do you guys know? What are the first couple of things? 'Cause I know we talked about this before in mentorship. It kind of
displayed.
falls in the same category.
It's
How do you-
displayed.
Displayed.
Yeah, and the way that they talk, the way that they move, the way that they carry themselves, the things that they don't allow into their life. In a sense, like like I said about discipline.
Yeah.
If you're disciplined enough to say, "Hey, I don't allow that into my life," or "I don't do that," So if people around you do that, you kind of cut that off, cut those people off. You cut yourself off from
Correct.
putting yourself in those situations.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of just move away from that stuff, bro. If you're like, you could be stern on a boundary that you have, a leader and honestly a man will stand on that boundary and be like,
Yeah.
you know what, like, you cross this, boom, we're done, or this is it, this is over. You won't have access to me like this anymore. It's just like, I don't know. At some point you could just stand to respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're like that, So it's like somebody you'd want in a leader,
I feel like for me, like the more you fall in love with God and the more you cherish God and chase Him, everything starts to be revealed in the light. Me personally, from my experience, how the way I've been learning is loving God, finding certain things, and then other things start to come out in the light. You start to see who is an actual leader spiritually, emotionally, physically, like who is you start to see it. You can't be fooled.
Mhm.
For lack of better words, it's like day and night. You'll see it. Like a light flashes.
Correct.
Let's say an example. And then when not, like it's just dark and you're just like, this isn't for me. Kind of like what Sal was saying, Paul was saying, like this isn't for me. And you start kind of navigating in a different direction. That has been one of my experience. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you guys said it right, or said it good in regards to the way they carry themselves, right? The way they portray themselves, the way they act in front of others. You know, those people who show by their fruits, right? In regards to the way they treat others, the way they are gentle, kind, but at the same time confident, right? Confident but humble. And also the way they react in scenarios where,
Yes.
you know, where it's probably panicking or anything like that, they remain, like, it's okay to be scared. We're human.
They keep
right?
their composure.
But they keep their composure. They
Yes.
stay calm. You know, at the end of the day, while everyone else might be panicking or anything like that, a true leader is able to stay calm because they understand that if they see other people panicking, they are the ones that need to step up and, you know, be able to create a solution or start a solution with the rest of the people. But yeah, definitely I would say someone that remains calm during a stressful situation.
Okay. What about you? She's like, I forgot the question already. Don't worry, because I forgot the
She's
question.
so deep into listening.
Huh.
She's so deep into listening. She forgot she's in it.
Pause for dramatic effect.
What?
Nothing.
Yeah.
No, and like you guys said too, though, at the end of the day, someone who has God, right? Someone who has God, because then they know how to love others. Because someone who doesn't have God, like I mentioned, I don't want to generalize because there are people who may not have God and they're good leaders, you know. But I think if you have God, you know how to love, you know how to lead by example, and then also you put your faith on Jesus, you know, you put your faith on Him, and so you let Him, you know, direct your steps, take your steps, and you just have that confidence in Him to understand that whatever situation you're in, as long as you have Jesus, as long as you have God, as long as you talk to Him, as you let Him guide you, you are going to be able to then guide the rest of the people.
Yeah, you brought up a good point, bro. Like even people that are outside that aren't leaders, I mean that aren't Christian but are good leaders. Me personally, bro, I feel like leadership falls under every category. Yeah. Like there's not really any separation. Coming from the military, like leadership is everything I learned in the military kind of projects and moves on to Christianity. Yeah. It moves on to relationship. It like carries on. Leadership is just one bar. It's just one bar. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I've learned. So if you're Christian or you're, oh dang, no, I had to push her out. Sorry. So if you're Christian or you're not, leadership still falls under the same bar, and it's very important to me. It's very important to have good leaders in your life. It's very important for me to like know who am I gonna let lead me. I know that kind of sounds a little ridiculous because you're like, well, you can't really choose, but in reality, you can. I think it's very important who you choose to lead you because, like I said, if he tells you to go left and it's over a cliff, like ultimately you're gonna fall over a cliff, you know, regardless of the situation. You want that leader that's going to take you to the next level. And one thing else that I've learned about leadership is someone who's not afraid to, for example, me in the military.
Admit the wrongs.
One, admit the wrongs. Yeah, we want to get to that.
Accept
but
accountability.
two, that too. Accept accountability. But another one is to not be afraid to have someone surpass them.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Like you want them to pass
Yes.
you. You're eager for that person to I want you to pass me. I want you to go above and beyond than what I did. You know what I'm saying? Without envy, without ink, without nothing, without jealousy. I want you to pass me. If I got to this level, I want you and you better get to this level. That's much, much higher, you know? If it took me a month to get this type of ability, this type of power through God or whatever, I want it to take you 2 weeks.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? You want them to do better. And I think that's what defines a real leader as well. Because we have a lot of people that have the category leader in places everywhere, in churches, in military, but aren't really leaders. They're angry, they're upset, They get jealous because another person comes in and wants to surpass them.
Correct.
You know, so I think that's a very important thing. I don't know if you guys have any comments to that. I don't know.
Yes, I actually do. I think that's important, bro. That's important because we do. Sadly, we do have a lot of people that, if they're leaders, they're like, I'm not gonna teach this certain person, you know, work in the work area,
Yeah.
certain things or the secrets, right? Because they don't want
Yep.
them to surpass them or anything
Yeah.
like that, which is sad. You know, like you said, for like me as well, if I'm teaching anyone anything that I know, whatever it is, I would like for them to learn more than me.
Yes.
You know,
Exactly.
I learn from them, they learn from me.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to that comment that you mentioned, Jesus, bro, like Jesus.
I was about to bring a Bible verse kind of that says, yes,
bro,
Jesus is it.
Jesus showed us all of that, bro. Right? He lets us know that we are going to do greater things than him, right?
Yep.
Obviously, we're not gonna be Jesus. We're never going to do better than him, but he's letting us know that we are going to do greater things than him. Why?
Yep.
Because he leads by example. He
Example,
wants us to learn from him and try to do even better.
Yep. And you know what's crazy? There's a verse that always stuck with me that says, I'm gonna kind of paraphrase it. I know it in Spanish. En gracia recibiste, en gracia das. In grace you received, in grace you will give.
Yes.
You know. So, excuse me, I apologize. So that's it right there too for leadership.
Yeah.
The same way you got, you're gonna give gracefully. You got it for
Yep.
free, give it for free. You know
Correct.
what I'm saying? You got it with love, give it with love. You know. And I think that falls under everything. But the crazy thing is sometimes things aren't given through love. So then they say, well, I didn't have it easy.
Yeah.
I had to go to school. I had to do this. So that person has to, okay. So you see, that's where toxic leadership already came in. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Where
yes.
it took control of everything and a bad apple started growing little by
Correct.
little, and eventually it just turned bad.
Correct.
Which is why I say it's very important to choose your leadership very specifically. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Because like I said, ultimately it's crazy. I don't know. Do you have any comments to that? What do you think?
I think going back to the military point that you brought up, of you
Mhm.
being in the military, I feel like a leader definitely has. I feel like it's similar to being, like, for example, a commander in the military, a sergeant, you know, whatever. They have the responsibility to lead a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's.
Say it, girl. Say it.
I have the words, but I'm like.
Say what you gotta say.
Sin miedo.
Aquí no tengas miedo.
Make sure you edit that out, okay?
All right.
We good. It's part of it.
It's part of it. I'm not good at editing, so just say it.
Just say it.
I don't know, like, a leader has a lot of responsibility to just, like, lead so many people, not even, like, closer to Christ, but like you guys were saying as well, to, like, be better than them. And it's like, I feel like in a way it's also sacrifice to be a leader.
Yep.
It's also
Wow.
sacrifice.
There it is.
X.
Yeah, because if you have an ego, you have to sacrifice that ego to allow them to get bigger than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
I
And it's
agree with the
crazy.
sacrifice. I don't know. How do we
Bro.
not use that word?
Yeah. And it's crazy because you guys are right about, you were right about them being better than you, because it's like, I could put that for like the gym. If I'm ever training anybody, well, I'm training you specifically so that you can be even better than
Correct.
me.
Mhm.
Literally, bro, I critique the form. I critique the way you do
Because you're
things.
telling them all the
Because
secrets that
I'm
you
telling
already
them
know.
all the secrets that
Yeah.
now I know. That I don't want you to have to take so long to get to where I got to,
Mhm.
where I can just get you there now.
Yeah.
I can get you there, and you can even surpass me, bro. You be
Yeah.
even better than me, and that's my thought process to things, bro.
Correct.
I never thought about it like that here until he just said it right now. I was
Mhm.
like, bro, that's me, bro. I literally,
go.
I do it specifically so they can be better than me,
Good.
bro.
Good.
I think also too, so one thing important is leaders make mistakes. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And what Salo was saying, like accountability. I think that above all shows who's a true leader. Someone who's willing to take accountability. And I don't mean on like little things or when the
Yes.
glory's good. Someone who's willing to actually
Yes.
admit that I made a mistake. Like I'm human, I made a mistake and I'm gonna work to not do it again.
Getting fired mistake. Getting fired mistake, bro.
Like,
Getting fired, going to jail mistake, something like that,
yeah,
bro.
Yes,
I see
yes.
that. I see that a
Good
lot,
one.
where a bunch of like people are put in a position of leadership, but they don't take accountability. They do for certain things, but when it matters, it doesn't. And this podcast, I like to just say secrets, and I like to say the truth. This is why we're called Clueless, because I like to just spread the truth, and I want people to learn. That happens a lot too, like in the Christian world, bro. Like we were just talking about earlier, a lot of people hate Christians. Like generally, the world hates Christians. We know spiritually why, you know, but a lot of people hate Christians. Why? I was telling you, because we don't take accountability. We don't
That
take
is true.
accountability. I think that, for example, Christians are supposed to be the leaders of the world. They're supposed to be leaders. They're supposed to lead by example. God said, turn the other cheek. You know, all the instructions are written, and we're supposed to be leaders. And I feel like we've become like, that's why people hate us, like hypocrites.
Mhm.
We don't take accountability. And I think accountability is very great in a person. I admire someone that can come and be like, I messed up. What I said the other day was incorrect. What I did was incorrect. And I caught it. I admire that so much in a person when
Correct.
they're willing to come. I'm like, whoa, like, honestly, it took so much courage for you to come say that. Like, this is the type of person I want to be around.
Damn.
Mhm.
Someone who's going to push me to
Thank
do that. Someone who's going to lead by example. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like you said. Because when they're doing that, they're leading by example.
Correct.
They're showing that they make mistakes.
Mhm.
You know, they're not that arrogant person that thinks like, oh, okay, no, I'm not gonna say because I'm scared of this. You put all that aside. You it doesn't matter if you're scared, nervous, you put it all aside and you
Mm.
face the consequences, which is telling the
Mhm.
truth. You know,
Yeah.
and the truth will set you free, brothers and sisters.
Hey, what's it called? Dang, I have a question. But it's kind of like on a tangent. So it's like right now that you said it, that everyone hates Christians. Damn, can it be that that's why like God's kind of like, in a sense, he's annoyed now.
For lack of better words. I don't
For
know,
lack
what
of
do you
better
guys
words,
think?
God's annoyed right now on how everyone hates Christians now. Like God's stirring up something different right now.
Mm.
Yeah,
I think we all know that, bro.
Mm.
I think he's stirring up something different. So it's like
it's a
right
revival
now,
coming.
yeah, so I'm thinking, have we been the doormat for too long now?
Mm.
Like, as in, like, I get it, be the doormat, but I think at a certain point, even Jesus got mad. He got annoyed, even at the
Of
Pharisees
course.
when he had to tell them, you know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
like, whoa, you guys, all that, you know, can it be like right now? Now's that moment where Jesus is saying, whoa, you, woe to all you.
Mm.
Like, I've been the doormat for long enough already. Now it's time to show you who I am. Like,
Mm.
whoa, you. You know, that's what that literally just came to my head. Like, have we been the doormat already for too long already?
That's
like
a good
being stepped
question,
over?
bro.
Like,
I don't have the answer
with
for
this
that one,
revelation
man.
that's gonna come, bro, I know for a fact, like I'm saying, bro, like, paralyzed walking.
Yeah.
I'm talking about water, walking on water. I'm talking about wine, water and wine, bro.
Yeah.
I'm talking about things like that, bro, to the point where, like, we're no longer the doormat anymore. You have no choice but to believe.
Mhm.
Either believe or believe, bro. One or the other.
No, yeah, for sure.
You know, it's like,
That's a tough question because I don't know the answer to that one. It could be that he might be thinking. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the answer for that one.
that was crazy.
I don't have the answer for that
From
one.
hearing all that, I was like, oh,
I do
damn.
know that something else is stirring up. I do know that there's a revival coming. You can feel it.
Something
you can see it.
crazy.
And it's crazy because during these times is when we need leaders. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's when we need leaders.
Let's step it up.
And if God has done anything, bro, if He's shown us anything in the Bible, is that He chooses the ones that look the weakest. He chooses the ones that don't look the most knowledgeable. He chooses like
The most
the
aggressive.
lowest of the
people.
low, you know,
It's
to
actually-
be leaders.
It's actually good that you brought that up because I was gonna say something based on accountability,
Mm.
and then based
Mm.
on what you just said about
I love
choosing
that. Kind of-
choosing the ones that people would be like, why this person, right?
Mhm.
If I go back to it again, David, right? King David, right? He was small. Even God had told Samuel, right, who was the prophet at that time, he told him, do not go based off his appearance, you know, his height and all of that, for I have rejected, right? But instead, based on the heart. So he chose David. So, I mean, he had 7 other brothers, right?
Mhm.
7 other brothers. And he was the one who was chosen to be the next king of Israel, right?
Mhm.
And so that shows us that it doesn't have to be someone who looks like a leader. Like, there's no such thing as, oh, he looks like a leader, because
Yes, of course.
of course that's a stereotypical kind of thing that a lot of people, the world goes by in regards to, oh, that's a leader either because they're this or that. But
Mhm.
this other person over here can definitely be more of a leader than that person based off
Yep.
based off appearance, right? And then accountability. I mean, King David, bro, he also made mistakes, right? He made mistakes, and he fully, repented. And so then that's when God was able to use him still, and used him for good. And he was obviously one of the best kings. And I think that that's what makes a good leader a great leader. A person who makes mistakes, a person who has failed because they have learned, they've gone through the experiences, and so they know what kind of mistakes they made, what the failures that they made in the past, so that anyone that they are teaching or anything like that, they are able to tell them, like, don't do this, I did the same thing. Obviously everything kind of works different for different people, but at the same time, if you do have someone, a mentor that already went through the same thing that you're going, why wouldn't you want to listen to them? If they're already here where you're starting here and you want to get to that same point, listen, have mentors.
You kind of brought up a good point, and something came to my head, because you were like, we kind of categorize leadership of like, oh, because this is this, and you said that King David, Saul was like, Samuel was like, no, don't look at the exterior, because I'm looking at the heart. Yeah. And I feel like that's going on right now in this generation, bro, where a lot of people are like, well, this guy went to school, this guy went this, and everything, and like military, churches too. This guy went to school, he went here, so he's a leader. It's like, and I've come to learn, it's like, no, brother, like, just because you went to all these places does not make you a leader. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
It's what you have to offer. It's what you do with it. You know what I'm saying? Are you a real leader? And I've learned that a lot of people are put in a leadership position without actually being leaders. Like it's just kind of like if that position is being handed out like candy and not taken seriously.
Correct.
Because it's what's in the inside. Because I can sit here and be like, man, I can rule the world. I went to the military, overseas, this and that.
Exactly.
Like I'd be like, well, I know how to lead people. I can always be like, I know how to lead people. Though I know, like I can be cocky and be like, I know how to lead people.
Correct.
Doesn't mean I would be leader material.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Doesn't mean I would be doing more damage than good. And ultimately you want to do good, not bad. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So you got to be careful with that. What y'all think?
Yeah, you do. Because like you guys were saying earlier too, like you have to watch what they do, because if you're in a position where you're looking for a mentor already, I think like this kind of takes me back to the whole therapy thing. It's like when you go into a place thinking something already, whatever they say about that, you're gonna kind of accept it, So it's like if you're looking for that, what they say can sound good and appealing to your feelings and how you want to traject your life in. So it might sound appealing, but it's not the best option for you.
Correct.
It might be disguised as a light.
Correct.
The way they say that he's gonna come disguised an angel of light doesn't mean he is an angel of light.
Yes.
He's gonna disguise himself as that.
Yeah.
You brought up a good point,
like
bro,
that.
because in this generation, there's a lot of fake leaders, bro.
Yep. So
Yeah.
they're
I'm
coming
gonna
in
go ahead.
disguise.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna go ahead and say straight up. There's a lot of fake leaders out here in this world. A lot of fake leaders.
Yeah.
Though they're good, and though some may be anointed, some may be in a position. Like there's a lot of fake leaders out here that when it comes down to it, you start to realize these people aren't leaders.
And doesn't mean they're bad people.
Yeah,
Right?
it doesn't mean they're bad people. Yes,
It's
I'm
just
glad
like
you said that.
they have a lot of work. There's still a lot more work to do
Yeah.
for you to be
But
better in that leader
but
position.
that's where accountability and
Yes.
humbleness comes in.
Bro,
Because
and that's what makes you a great leader.
Yeah.
And bro,
Yes.
and being accountable, it's like doesn't mean always you acknowledging and noticing that you messed up. If somebody comes and tells you that you messed up, you accept it right there and then. You don't go like, oh, no, it wasn't me. No, it's like, okay, my bad. I'm gonna look into it. I'm sorry. Next time, I'm sure I'll do better.
I think you can't let your pride come out. You can't let your pride talk.
You can't.
Because you
can't,
lose.
like,
You lose. It's like
it looks bad. It looks bad, and you get to capture it. I know. We're men and women of God, so we see things, we know things, and everything. One thing that I've seen, bro, in Christian communities in the whole world, because I've been everywhere. Christian communities. One thing I've seen that's very strong, bro, is that we don't take, like I said in the prior, we don't take accountability. We don't. Like I don't know how to explain it.
How many times do you hear a pastor say something wrong on one Sunday, and the next Sunday come up on stage and be like, "Hey, you know what, you guys? I said something that I wasn't like happy with what I said last Sunday, so I'm gonna correct myself this Sunday." How many pastors have actually
That's a
done
good
that,
point.
bro? Like how
Or
many,
leaders.
how many
Yeah,
pastors,
leader.
leaders have actually done that? You know, I'm not saying you have to do it every single
course.
service, but it's like, I know at some points there's pastors that have been like, I have done that in the past where I've said something that but they just kind of like skim through
Mhm.
it, like it's nothing, bro.
What do you think? What do you think? You look like you're nervous over there right now. What's in your head? Give us a penny for your thoughts.
Honestly, I'm just listening right now.
Why?
She's all deep into it, but I'm telling you, she's paying attention, Loki.
I know she's paying
She's
attention, but
deep
she's making me
into it.
nervous. It's like,
No, I'm
Are-
just
are-
paying attention. I really don't have anything much to say. I mean, you guys are just facts, you know, but I don't have anything.
that's one thing that I like to watch my words or what I say, especially when it comes to like churches or people or in general.
No pointing fingers.
Yeah, because
I'll
I
put
don't like to point fingers. It's just to me, it's very important when someone humbles themselves and actually admits them. Like to me, that's very important. And like Salo was saying, there's not a lot of people that go out there and be like, "Hey, I made a mistake," you know. And I always wondered like why not? You know what I'm saying? Why don't we do that? You know, if we're leaders, why can't we admit that we made a mistake? I've seen churches, bro, where they'll be like, "Oh, you're gay, you can't serve." Like every church does that. You're gay, you can't serve. I'm about to enter a topic that's deep. They say if you're gay, you can't serve, right? I understand the rule behind it. I understand it 100%. Like, hey, okay, you know, you're living in sin, this and that. But then you have someone who's serving that's getting tattoos every week, for example. Why don't we take accountability and become real leaders and say like, hey, no. It's written in the Bible that no sin is different, no greater than the other. They're all sins. So why can't we be like, hey, you got tattoos as well? You can no longer serve right now. This has to stop. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I mean about leadership too. Someone who's willing to stand up, someone who's willing to admit, someone who's willing to be the mass, someone who's willing to just stand up for what is right in a correct way. There's a spiritual way of doing it. There's a God-loving way of doing it, you know. Which that shows leadership too, you know, who's responsible enough to be able to speak out at the right time, at the right moment, you know. And I think that's very important. And again, I think that's why a lot of people hate Christians, because we do stuff like that. I do have a friend that she struggled a lot in the Christian world, and past churches, like, they hurt her for that same reason, because she's actually gay. She has a girl, and she's had damage like that. You know what I'm saying? Where they pinpoint that, and then she catches other people like sinning or doing other stuff in front of everyone, and it's kind of like, well, how come they're only coming to me? You know what I'm saying? That's why it's very important to know which leader you want to be around. You know what I'm saying? Someone who's going to protect you, someone who's going to guard you, someone who's going to catch that bullet for you, despite of what it is. He's going to jump in and he's going to be like, you know what? I'm going to forget about me and I'm going to worry about you. Because it says that when one sinner comes to Christ, the angels have a party in heaven. And that should motivate a leader.
Yeah.
That should be like, wow. That should be like, I want to uplift this person.
Correct.
Even if it means me going through some type of, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But just because this person gets uplifted and comes to Christ, there's a party in the angel. And that itself is a reward for you.
Correct.
That itself is like, wow. Like, this is amazing. It brings joy to me. I want to do it again. And ultimately, I think that's what it is, bro.
Yeah.
Too.
I think now people
know?
are just becoming leaders out of favoritism.
Yes.
Like,
Well,
who they know.
I strongly believe that
In a
people are
sense.
becoming leaders out of categories, because that's how it is right now. Like I said, in the military too, just because of categories. Oh, this person's been here 20 years. This person went to Bible college, or this person went to university, so he's an officer. This person went here and here and here, so he gets to be put in a leadership position. So it's kind of like, so because of categories. But is he a real leader? That's the real question. I can go to school right now and become an officer in the military.
Correct.
You know, and be above all my peers. Like I can go do that just because I went to school. But do I have the expertise really?
The characteristics and all of that.
You know, that's that. I like to use that as an example, because in the military, that's how it is. An officer is above a sergeant, but a sergeant typically has probably been deployed and gone to war twice, while that officer only went to school.
Correct.
So doesn't really know how to act in an environment like that where, you know, bullets are flying. But he's above that person.
Correct.
And I think that's how it is right now in everything, in relationships, in jobs, and in churches. where people are put in positions because they do this or they're there this long or that. But in reality, it's like,
Yeah. I mean, the Bible, bro, scripture shows us, bro.
Yeah, it's an example. Like
that those kings that were greedy and they had pride,
Saul.
right? King Saul, bro, he had pride. And anything that he did, he wanted people to praise him, and also not give glory to God. I mean, at the end of the day, God is just, God is going to make just, and so that's what he did with King David. He rejected King Saul, but in the Bible, bro, it shows all of that about leadership through many of them, right? And so I think that's one of the first things that I did, bro, or I caught myself doing when I came to Christ, was kind of like taking accountability. Because before Christ, I would blame others. I would blame situations. I would blame the circumstances, and be like, oh, what's because of this? Why? Because I wanted to justify myself. I wanted to justify my mistakes. I wanted to justify the sinning and all of that. And so coming into Christ, bro, made me realize, you know what? At the end of the day, once I start taking accountability, that's when I'm going to be able to grow as a person and get closer to God.
Yeah.
And so for me, that was a huge thing, bro. And once I did that and started taking accountability for my mistakes, for past mistakes and all of that, and understand obviously that God forgives me for my mistakes, that that I have been redeemed and all of that, that's when I finally realized, you know what? I feel great now.
Yeah.
I feel good. Like if I make a mistake, let me know.
Yeah.
I am not going to be one of those people that if I make a mistake, that I'm going to get mad or be like, oh, I'm not gonna hang out with this person anymore because they told me this. Like, no. And at the end of the day, I mean, if I make a mistake or anything like that, let me know.
That's crazy, bro. Because I had a hard time taking accountability too. Accountability is like one of the hardest things.
It is, bro.
I don't
You
know
know what I'm saying?
It's weird, bro. It came a lot easier to me than I thought it would have.
Good.
But it did take a minute for it to like fully like catch on like good, bro. But
Yeah.
it was a lot easier than I thought, bro.
Good.
I don't
That's
know
good.
why that one was, bro. But for me, I used to lack accountability too, bro. I wanted to blame everybody else, bro.
Same, bro.
It's like, and you never grow at all, bro. You never grow, and then at some point, you look at yourself from the outside perspective, and you're like, "Wow, I'm still a child."
Yeah. When
Because I didn't took no accountability, bro.
to me, it's not just that. It's just like I knew that my mistakes will come and haunts me, for lack of better words.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's when I started taking accountability because, for example, the past words that I've said, the things that I've said and cursed people, that comes back to you.
Oh.
So when I was
bro.
able to take accountability of my mistakes, I was able to be like, oh God, hey, you know what? I reject the words that I've said in the past. I reject those people that I hurt, I take
Right.
it all back because I had to take accountability. Because if you don't take accountability, it's going to come back to you.
Yeah, it is.
God has to clean. His blood is going to clean and shed everything, but you have to allow him. And the only way to do that is to take accountability of your past and be like, hey, Father, look, this is what I did.
Yeah.
I rebuke the words that I said. I throw them to the abyss and don't let them like chase me.
Correct.
Because like we see what the Bible shows what happens when you don't take accountability. It catches up to
It
you.
catches
Think about it.
You know?
Think about it. It's like when you take accountability for something, it's like if it ever comes up again later, you know how to deal with it now in a better way.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, if you didn't take accountability, you're gonna make the same error you made last
Correct.
time.
Correct.
Again, once again, you're gonna do it, and then again and again, because you never took accountability.
Correct.
Yeah.
You never wanted to get better. At some point, bro, like that's why I've noticed accountability, bro. It's like it's a pretty attractive trait to have, as just a person in general,
Yeah.
because it shows that you want to grow. You don't
Yeah.
want to be where you're at
Yeah.
every
Correct.
single day,
Correct.
And that means everywhere in your life. That
And-
means spiritually, emotionally, mentally.
Mhm.
That means physically. That means work-wise. That means
All
and
around.
everything, bro.
Yep.
You start taking accountability, bro. It's like
You start walking like people start to see Jesus in you.
it's different. Yes,
People
bro.
start when
Yes.
it's like
Different,
accountability.
bro.
When you're a leader, people start to see Jesus in you.
Mhm.
They start to be like, "Whoa! Like, look at this person. How did this person change?
Mhm.
Or how did this person did this?" Because you take accountability in everything. Like you were saying, work, relationship, church, everywhere.
And they show you grace.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Bro, more times
Oh,
than not,
definitely,
they
bro.
show you more grace
Mhm.
because it's like, how can you own up to this? That's why earlier I was saying it's
Yes.
like a fireable thing. Like if you're gonna get fired and you own up to something,
Yeah.
it's like they're gonna be like, why would you own up to this? You know,
Correct.
why would you just sit there and be like, you know what, I did do it,
I
you know,
did
and
do
I'm
it.
sorry, like I didn't, you know, it's like,
I have integrity, bro.
yes,
Yeah.
it's because there can be like, you know what, like he messed up, but I can at least trust him to tell me that he did mess up
Yeah.
and that he'll get better at it.
And I feel like that you become very like you're actually sorry when you start admitting things. You're actually sorry.
Correct.
You know,
You're more
you start to
empathetic.
see, yeah, you start to see like, well, this person is really sorry what he did, that so much that he's going to admit it. I think one good leader, bro, that I don't know if a lot of people see him as a leader, is Daniel.
Yes.
Daniel was such a good leader, despite the king doing this,
Yes.
despite all that, he was still leading. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying? Like in the shadows, let's call it. He was
Ooh.
leading. He was leading, bro. Like, you know, got thrown in the
Hey.
lion's den and still led by example.
White
How is God?
Yes.
A white shadow.
Bro, I'm glad you brought.
Oh, is it
Daniel.
falling? Oh, my bad. You could like pull it out, or
That's happened to me, and I just hold it.
Yeah, I'm just holding it.
oh, okay.
But it's good, bro. It's good you brought Daniel.
Sorry, it's just heavy.
Nah, you good. You know what you can do? You can like,
Oh, disconnected from there.
yeah. Let me see 1 second.
Sorry, y'all. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, let's say that. Technical difficulties. Dang, man.
We'll be back with this ad.
Doo-doo-doo.
That's what I should be worried about. That, man.
Damn, it's been like that for like past 10 minutes. I'm
That's actually cool like that too. Just like,
It
just
has
like
been
that.
like that.
Nah, but I think Daniel was a great leader, bro.
Yeah.
He led by example too, on how like despite of everything, he was able to just overcome it all, bro.
Yeah.
Like he was,
Yeah.
bro. Like I think that's amazing.
Yeah. And
He
I'm-
wasn't the king. Get this, the king was the king, and he wasn't. But yet he acted more like a king.
Yes. Yes.
He was. You know what I'm saying?
He was a true leader,
yeah,
bro.
a true leader.
A true leader, and I'm glad you brought Daniel up, bro, because Daniel, bro, had one of those traits, you know, one of those characteristics that makes a true leader, right? A true leader has to make difficult decisions, bro.
Mm.
You know, decisions that it's not going to please everyone, but they have
The
to make those
correct
certain decisions, the correct
Yeah.
decisions, right?
Mhm.
Daniel, bro, with that king, you know, they told him, you shall not praise your God, right?
Mm.
Anyone who praises your God is going to be thrown in jail, is going to be thrown the lion's pit, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did Daniel do? He continued to pray. He continued
Yep.
to praise God. He continued to just give all glory to God, and so that's why he was thrown into the pit. And
lion's
at the end
den.
of the day, what did God do for him? He
Saved
rescued
him.
him.
He exalted
right? He
him,
saved
bro.
him.
Saved him.
And so it just shows that leaders have to make certain decisions that it's not going to please everyone, but if
Mhm.
it's the correct decision for everyone or for most people, they
Mhm.
have to do it, and it just comes with people not liking
And that
them.
was,
Yep.
bro, that had integrity, bro, and that showed a boundary that he showed right there.
Yes,
Like, hey,
yes.
I'm not gonna stop praising him. This is
No.
my boundary. As soon
Yeah.
as you tell me to stop praising, you know
Yes.
what? I'm gonna stand on
Yes,
business.
standing
I'm gonna
on
go 10
business.
toes
Yeah,
down on
yeah,
this
yeah,
man.
10
I'm
toes
like,
down,
10
yeah.
toes down on these
Every
fools,
leader
bro.
in
You
the
tell me
Bible,
no?
even prophets, they 10 toes down, baby.
Yeah,
10
like,
toes
you
down,
tell me
bro.
not.
Daniel was
Correct.
look at man. I don't know if it was Elijah or Elias. I confused her name.
Elisha.
Where they were like, oh, we're surrounded by enemies, and he was like, God, open their
Oh,
eyes so
yeah.
they can
Yes.
see what I see, and
Mhm.
the enemies are surrounded by angels,
Angels.
just like ready to attack, bro. Like that's a leader right there.
Yeah.
He was never the king, but he was still a leader.
Correct.
He still said, God, open these people's eyes so they can see what I
So
see.
many things hidden
That's a
in that,
leader,
bro.
Yeah. That's a leader, bro.
Right. The Bible leads by example what a leader is. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And that is exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is, bro. And
Like,
And that's why that's a book of life.
yeah.
yes,
That's why it's a book of life,
that's why
bro.
it's the book of life.
You
And
you want to be
How
that.
to give life to a leader, bro? It literally feeds the people to be who they need to be.
Correct.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just
And-
feeding leaders
Bro,
to be
correct.
leaders.
So many stories, bro. So many stories of us leaders. When Elijah went and he said, "Hey, women, can you make me a bread and water?" And the woman was like, "Oh no," you know. He was showing
Correct.
authority. I mean, he went up. He's like, "Hey, give me some food and this and that."
correct.
And guess what? Then she got blessed.
Mhm.
She never ran out of flour. She never ran out of oil. You know what I'm saying? Those are leaders that bruh, a leader is someone who knows his identity.
Yes.
If you know
Bro,
your
Good
identity,
yes.
thing you said earlier. I had
Yes.
something in my head about that, and it slipped my mind, bro. Because we
bro,
kept
Yes.
moving on.
leaders know their identity.
Yes.
If you know your identity, you know the position you
Let's go.
possess. You know what you have. You know what you're gonna do. You don't like. You know what I'm saying?
That's why a leader who has identity isn't scared to have somebody surpass them in a certain
Correct.
place because
Yes.
they know where
Correct.
they stand and they know
Correct.
who they
Yeah.
are.
10
They
toes
know,
down, baby.
They
They
know
know
no one can take my
business.
position
Yeah.
because I was put here for a reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's like, bro, that's why
Yes,
earlier I
that's
was gonna
facts,
say
bro.
that. Earlier I was gonna say that, and we kept moving on, bro. And
But you know what's crazy?
That's
If the
how,
Bible
like-
shows us anything, those people that are scared of that will be surpassed. Look
Yeah.
at Saul and David.
Yeah.
That's what Saul was scared of. He kept trying to kill David.
Their greatest
because
fears came
he
to
was
life.
because he was like, oh, this guy's the one that's gonna
Yep,
replace me. This, that.
yep.
He was so worried about that God ended up like Saul ended up dying, and then David took his place.
because
Correct.
that goes to shows
Yeah.
where you're supposed to have your eyes set and not
Yeah.
down here,
Yes,
and you had him
yeah.
here, and look
and,
what happened.
And that happens a lot, brothers and sisters. If there's a leader that's acting up like that, God will put him in his position.
Correct.
You know, if somebody's afraid to be surpassed, he will be surpassed.
Yeah.
Which falls into what we've always been talking about. Your biggest fears will come to light.
Yep. They will come
Yes.
right. And he won't
Yep.
even know that they surpassed him until it's too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One time my mom was telling us how like you can be humbled, bro. God can humble you so much because you thought you exalted yourself.
Mhm.
So God humbled you.
Correct.
But the moment you realized you got humbled, bro, he humbled you
Wait.
months ago.
Yeah, way
months ago,
back.
by
Way
the time
before.
you realized it,
Yeah.
bro, he had humbled you a
Correct.
long time ago.
Yeah.
You're barely just coming to a realization to it.
Correct.
What about you? I want to ask you something.
Oh, me too. I want
I
to
want to ask you something. How long have you been going to church? You said or-
August.
this
Since
one?
the beginning of the year.
So when you like, what do you like in a leader? You in particular, like, what do you look for? Who would you let lead you?
Male or female as well.
Like whatever, if you prefer female, if you like, just you in general, your opinion, your thoughts of who you would like to lead you.
Go.
It's kind of like a boyfriend and girlfriend. Who would you like to lead you? Who would you like?
Facts.
Who would you like to lead you? A strong.
I think someone
independent-
that's just being led by the Spirit.
Mm.
Someone that's being led by God. Someone that, like you guys said, someone that doesn't have their eyes focused on on the opinions of people or on the world, but only what like God thinks of them. And just someone who's obviously someone who has just the fruits of the Spirit as well, like someone who's kind, someone who's just like you guys said, who takes accountability, especially because
So, and I wanted a women's perspective too. So, how do you know when that is there? How do you know when like the time is right to be like, this is my
he
leader?
asked me that same
Because
question.
had this conversation the other
this
day.
might carry on to my next topic about relationships because women,
that was 4 hours.
Women tend to be like, oh, this man's going to church, he's lifting his hands up. That's a man of God. He is for me. So how do you know when you're making a right choice on a leader? Because this is gonna open up for a next topic, about relationships. So
Let's
how do you
get
know
it, girl? Come on.
Just like I told Paul, you know them by their fruits, man.
their fruits?
You'll know them exactly by their fruits. Just
Is that like a week, a month, like how?
Good question.
Like,
wow.
Good follow up.
You know, because like I said, in relationships, you know them by their fruit. I mean, they're going to church every Sunday, they're lifting their hands up, they're praying, so it looks good to you.
Yeah.
But then in the back of that, when you get to his house, he's hitting you. So by their fruits, how long does it take you normally to kind of, okay,
I think it definitely. Obviously, some people don't show it right away.
so that's the tough part.
So I think definitely, if I observe you really, if I really want to know how much of a godly man you are, how much of a godly woman you are, I think within a few weeks, because eventually it's just gonna show, either
Yeah.
a little slip up or whatever. It's just gonna show eventually that okay, you're lacking this or you're lacking that. So eventually, it's just you're just gonna let it out. It's something that I don't think you can really hide that.
So what is one thing that they be lacking that like for example maybe they scream at every girl, or what is something that tells you no, this isn't a leader for me? What is something that gives you that maybe
The
this
ick.
isn't it? Yeah, the ick, the goosebumps, that what is something that, how do you know?
That realization,
Yeah.
oh, he can't lead me.
Well, this one
Every
can't
every
lead.
girl has a realization when they realize.
Yeah,
guy
sometimes they
cannot
realize it
lead
too
me.
late. I mean,
Yeah,
sometimes they realize it too late.
And sometimes they realize it off rip. They're like, oh, this
Yeah.
fool can't leave this fool. Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I guess you can kind of, for lack of better words, call it not a turn off, but we're kind of shuts everything off. No, this is not a leader.
Not a second date, just like that. Offer.
I think language is definitely one of them.
Okay. Good. Yeah.
Dang, I now want to ask you the question I asked you the other day.
What? Go for it.
That language thing. Remember what I said?
Oh, yeah. I didn't call him out on it, but I was like, ooh.
Okay.
Wait,
You guys.
what
Okay.
happened?
Okay.
What happened?
Look. We're gonna go in a little bit on it. Okay, a little tangent.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we were talking and everything, bro, and I was asking her questions about like relationship and everything too, and then we were talking about how you have to go by the fruits and everything like that.
Right.
And I told her like, how would
Getting
you
choosy.
notice? Yeah, how would you know who's one? How would you know who isn't? How would you know like this is correctly them or not? You know, I don't know, things like that. Then I was like, lately, I would say I'm slipping up on my language, and I'm slipping up on my stuff. And I told her,
accountability. Okay.
yeah, and I told her, clearly, in the moment, she was seeing that I can talk about God, that I have this like love for God in a way, you know, that's different. But then you hear that, but then you hear sometimes a little slip up here and there, you know, saying stuff, you know, and it's like I told her, would that suffice for you, or would you judge them based off of that? Would you take it into consideration and ask them what they're going through, on why they're in that position, speaking the way that they're speaking? You know what I mean? Because it's like
I would carry on with that because,
that's why. Because
for example,
before that, she knew a little bit of what
Yeah.
I'm going through, so she kind of already in her head, she already has like, okay, it's not excusable, but at the same time, it's understandable why you're like that because of what you're going through this. But if she didn't know anything and then I was talking like that, she would have
She would have been like, okay.
perceived it in a different way. Probably would have been like,
Right.
oh, he's talking like this, but he's like this. He might be fake. Or he
I
might
just-
not be who
that's-
he is, you know?
I think that's where you have to be more with God, because for example, I've had people be like, they'll be like, oh, I'm gonna say a bad word, so excuse me. Where they'll be like, oh shit. And then they catch it like, oh my God. And then they go like, oh, it's okay. Nobody's perfect though.
Yeah,
okay.
no, I didn't say it like that. I never say it like that.
So that's,
Heck,
I allow it to kind of carry on, be like,
Yes.
okay. Like, oh, everyone makes mistakes. Okay.
Yes.
So to me, like something
Yeah.
small like that, I would be like, okay, I know where you're at. I'm not gonna judge you, but I know where you're at spiritually, in a sense. Like you saying, like, oh, it's okay. Everyone makes.
You take it
mistakes. Like,
lightly. You take it
yeah.
lightly.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, because for me, when I would cuss, bro, it's like more like if it slips out, I'm like, oh, sorry, God.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, right away.
Like
correct
right
yourself.
away, I correct it like that. I don't need somebody to tell me you need to correct yourself.
Yeah.
I know I need to correct myself. You know?
Well, I don't know if you guys watched that episode of George Janko and Girls Gone Bible.
Oh, yeah.
where
Oh, yeah.
George Janko.
Girls Gone
would
Bible?
curse- Hey, shout out to Angela.
Shout out to Angela.
I don't know their names.
You guys
but
are beautiful.
They're beautiful.
Nah,
Yeah,
I'm just
they're
saying, you guys are
beautiful, so-
gorgeous. You guys are like really gorgeous.
But so George
Featuring you guys
George
or
would
something.
always cuss, right? He would curse and whatever, and so they corrected him.
Oh yeah,
They corrected him, bro.
He was crying
And the
because
next
of it, yeah.
episode, he was crying. And he felt like, like he was like so grateful that they corrected him, because at the end of the day, like you said, we can't just say like, oh, everybody makes mistakes. Like, no, we need to try to improve.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we have to hold each other accountable. Obviously, not in a condemning way, judging or anything like that. But we do have to keep each other accountable, because like at the end of the day, we're Christians, and so we're walking anywhere. We want to represent Jesus in the best way, right? So, but yeah, that episode was so great, bro. After that, he changed, bro.
He did.
He changed.
He
He
did.
started. It's not like he was perfect, but he would catch himself now and be
Yeah.
like, because before he used it as an excuse. Well, I do this, I do that. It's just cursing and
And
this and that.
Yeah.
But then
Dang.
eventually, be like, no, I do need to change.
And
Yeah.
right there, bro, that video is so good, bro, because it goes to show how like conviction hits differently.
Yes.
It's like
Yes.
just because something convicts you and it doesn't convict them, they're
Yeah.
probably just not there yet.
Correct.
God has
Yes.
not placed it in their heart
Yes.
to feel that tug. When they do that, when they do what they're not supposed to do, they're gonna feel that like that. They're gonna be like, oh, what was that? It was that conviction, and he now finally has that conviction.
Finally,
Yeah.
bro.
So when he does curse, he's gonna feel that tug right away. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done that. He's gonna feel it. Everybody has a different one.
Correct.
Even when it comes to like smoking and
Anything.
cursing,
Correct.
music, everything, just everything in general like that, bro. Everybody has their own little moment when they have that conviction time where it's like, now it's time for you to give it up.
Correct.
When you get that conviction to something you've never gotten it, that's God telling you it's time to give it up.
Exactly.
Like the music, all that, bro. At some point,
So-
you'll
so-
get the tug, even though you've never had it before.
Yeah.
So real quick before we run out of time. So when do you decide like this is a bad leader? when do you guys come to the conclusion of like, oh, this is not, I need to run.
I want to answer something.
I'm in a dangerous position. I need to run.
Oh.
When, like, because I've experienced bad leadership. I don't know if you guys have experienced bad leadership or have. When did you realize it? Was it too late? Or how can you catch it sooner? When do you say, this? I got to run. I got to turn the other way and run, because if I don't, this is going to go to something bad.
Okay. They slip up in the one area you're looking for guidance in. If you're looking for guidance in one certain area, and they slip up in that area,
Correct.
I would reconsider your
would run.
evaluation on that person.
I'm gonna use
because
that scene on TikTok.
it's like it's one thing to slip up, like I'm not saying slip ups are bad,
Correct.
but in the one thing I'm coming to you for helping,
Yeah.
I would think that you'd be a little bit more proficient in what I'm looking for in.
Yeah, more professional. Like,
Yeah, more professional, a little bit more on that, like, dang, like that happened to you, like,
Correct.
Like,
Yeah.
Wow. That was a good one. What about you guys?
That's a good one, bro. Tough question. I
Yeah.
think definitely someone who, like I said, leads by example, right? So leads by example is open to criticism.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like someone who, if you come to them for help,
Mm-hmm.
instead of trying to help you out or whatever it is, if they take too much pride in regards to, I don't know, like too much pride in regards to them feeling like I already taught you, or I already showed you the way, and this and that, and so and they get mad, they get mad, and they just show you like, okay, this person is really not a leader. Like they're not showing by example. They're not truly showing. They're not showing, let's say, influence in regards to I want to be like that person. You get what I mean?
Okay,
they're not leading with love.
They're not leading with love, and so it's just like, okay, do I
You
really
wouldn't
see
see yourself like
myself
them.
exactly like them? No, I don't want to be like them. So that's when like, okay, this person is not a good leader.
Okay. I like that. What about you?
Honestly, I feel like you guys just said also, like when I come to you for help, I just, in a way, like when I'm coming to you for help, I don't feel like I'm getting, how can I say this?
Attacked?
You feel judged.
Or condemned?
I didn't want to use the word attacked.
You feel judged.
In a way, yeah. Like
Okay.
in a way, I feel like it's something that you also just feel like,
Like
if
belittled?
I like, there you go.
That's the word,
There you go,
belittled.
belittled.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm coming
Big
to
word,
you for
yes.
something, right? And no matter how many times I come at you, I come to you for help. You're just like, oh well, like he just said, like I already told you this, or like,
Brush it off. Like it's
yeah.
nothing.
There
Yeah.
you go. Like you brush it off, and it's just honestly, I feel like that's something that you also kind of just feel like when they're not a good leader, they kind of just give it off right away.
Yeah.
In the way they probably act, in the way they're talking to you,
Yeah.
in the way like their tone that they talk to you, they just kind of like, I feel like they give it off right away.
Yeah.
So
Like body language, like type and everything.
there
You
go.
just,
like
yeah.
if you give me that
Yeah.
kind of vibe, that I'm just like, okay, I feel like I can't. You're not really helping me here. I feel like I can't really come to you and trust you enough for you to, uplift me even more.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think that just gives me the vibe, like, okay, you know what, you're
So-
not-
And
Yeah, and one thing for me though, like one thing that I would use as a test is correct the leader.
Yes.
is what?
Correcting the
leader.
leader. Like I'll
yeah.
most likely will give it twice. I'll correct him even in the simplest things, and the way he
to
reacts.
see the reaction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the way he reacts is what I'm gonna take. If I tell him like, "Hey, bro, you just swore," and if he like, "Oh no," or if you kind of see him like, kind of be like, "Oh, like this person, who is this guy? I think he is." Like,
Yeah.
if you see that kind of body language,
Side eye.
because there was this girl. She knows who she is. She corrected me on that. Try not to use manifest. Try to use just the word create. And I was like, you know what? You bring up a good point. I'm glad that you said that. I didn't give up. I didn't give off I just give her like, yeah, please keep telling me so I can learn, because we all make mistakes. You'll start to know who is willing to actually, okay, like, what I'm saying?
Correct.
That's one test that I would use, is correcting the leader in a respectful way. Of course, there's a way of doing it, and seeing his reaction or her reaction.
Correct.
And based off of that, you'll know.
And for me, I wouldn't have them like kind of uplift themselves.
Mhm.
Kind of like talk so much about themselves. I let
Correct.
your actions do the talking.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, not just for them, for everything now, bro. Like honestly, like I don't care what people tell me. I'll believe you like maybe 80%.
Mm-hmm.
The other percent, oh man, like I'm gonna be
Yeah.
watching. I'll be watching, and that
Yeah,
percentage
correct.
is gonna go down, and down until I'm like, oh man, this person's just talking to talk, man. And that's, yeah.
One or two things that I want to say before I know almost close to ending is one, I think also what makes a great leader and also distinguishes who's a bad leader is a great leader knows how to adapt differently to different people. They don't have the same style for every single person because we all learn differently, right? If there's one person that learns by being aggressive, by being more direct, another person
I struggle with that.
Yeah, another person may be able to learn by, hey, you know what? I need you to be more
Softer,
more calm or soft with me. So definitely, you know, I used to work as
I'm working on that.
a supervisor, and so that's one thing that I learned. Everyone learns differently. So you, as a good leader, you need to let go of the pride and instead of saying it's gonna be my way and you have to learn my way, no, that's not the way to teach someone. You have to, just like Jesus, just like God, right? God meets us where we're at. You have to meet that person where they're at so that they can learn the best way that they know how, based on their style, not your style.
And that's why he was like also speaking parables and stuff.
Correct,
So that people
exactly.
can, bro, because sometimes you have to break things down to certain people in different ways.
That hit me, bro.
Slower,
Yeah,
speak
bro.
slower, speak in different tones of voice, speak in different ways, bro. That is something, bro, I've been like trying to get so good at, bro. I'm really good at it, but I'm trying to get like, bro, like easy, like off rip, bro, because it's true, bro.
I struggle with that, bro.
Harder and softer too.
I struggle with that because like in the military I'm more tough, and then like I've never been vamos, let me grab you by the hand. I told my mom too, I've never been like, come on, we'll grab you by the hand. I've always hated that. I've always hated that where I'd be
I'll
like,
be behind
bro,
you, fool, pushing you.
not just that. Like I would be like I don't want to be like, listen, fool. Like I see what you know. I've always struggled at that, and I've been working on it, and I've been doing a lot better. But that's one thing that I struggle with in the sense of like
It's hard. It's not
learning
easy.
other people's ways
Yeah, you have
because
to, bro.
sometimes I'd be like, dude, the answer's right here, bro. But you gotta like, all right,
Hey,
man, let's go around.
But to know though, that works on your character.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
Yeah.
works on your character. Knowing
Correct.
like
Yeah.
how to speak to people like that.
Correct.
It works on your character, not to get mad so easily.
Patience and
Learning
all
how
that,
to have patience. Learning how to breathe when you're speaking. Because bro,
Characteristics
you
of the
can
Holy
get
Spirit.
heated. You can get heated like that, bro.
Correct.
And bro, all it takes is you like
I mean, bro,
taking
Yeah.
a deep breath, bro, and just be like,
Because I can make you
whatever.
learn.
yeah,
No, bro, I mean, think about it. You guys-
Because I can make you learn. Like that's not a problem. I mean, I'll make you learn real
you guys,
quick,
bro,
bro.
you guys are brothers, bro. I'm pretty sure your mom, your parents also had different ways of knowing how to come to you guys. Like I'm pretty sure if
Oh,
they
yeah,
told
with the
you
belt.
something,
With the belt, bro.
you'd be
Yeah.
like,
Bro,
good.
that was legal,
If
bro.
they were to tell
With
them
the
something,
belt, bro.
maybe one or
Yeah,
the other
no.
is like
Yeah.
one of you guys would be like, okay, I'm good. The other one would be like crying or something.
Yeah.
You know, but you guys we all learn differently, so
We
we
do.
have to meet people based on their styles, right? It also goes in school, right? Some people are visual learners, some people are more of like hands-on learners and stuff like that. So, and if you want to get the best out of the person you're teaching or anything like that, you have to meet them at their strength. You know, meet them at their strength rather than focusing on their weaknesses. Because if you focus on their weakness, how are they ever going to do great?
Yeah.
You have to focus on their strengths.
Yeah.
Because all they're seeing is failure.
I
That's all they're
like,
seeing from failure from the beginning.
Yeah.
Instead of seeing
Exactly.
success
Yeah.
from the beginning,
Correct.
and
I
then
like what you
later on
said.
working on those small little tweaks.
I like what you said because it falls into what she said. They start to feel not condemned. They start to feel like
Judged.
not attacked, not judged. Because if you hit him, when you boost him up, my mom always says that you gotta boost him up. Like, hey man, I know.
Yes.
Hey, listen, man, I know you're
Yes.
good with God. I know you're strong, but let's try to. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So you always boost them up, and I think that's very important. So people don't feel judged. Ultimately, you don't want them to feel judged or hurt, but you want them in the right path.
In the right
You
path.
want
To
them
get better.
Yeah, to get better. So
Correct.
that falls in that.
And the last thing I wanted to say, obviously we all have different experiences, and I don't know if you guys will agree or not, but at least for me, one thing that made me feel so comfortable at in New Life when I started going to New Life was the leaders that we have. At least for me, they were great leaders. You know, they led by example. You know, Landon, Frank, Pastor Steve. You know, all of them, Joe. You know, all of them, the way they would lead, they would show me like, hey, they would make me feel comfortable. And also by their fruits, it made me feel just so comfortable to be like, I want to be like them at some point. Why? Because anytime they see you, they treat you with respect. They are nice. They, like Landon has said in one of the services at YA, you have to focus on bringing the best out of people.
Yep.
You know, and that's what they've done.
You would always be able to go talk to them, like open door policy
Open door
type thing.
policy,
It wouldn't. When I was getting there, like when pastor would be like, go confess to someone if you want. I would always go somewhere. I always go to Joe and then be like, hey, you know, this is what's going on. Why? Because they've opened that door of trust, and you're able to speak to them.
Correct.
So I think that's very important. But we're gonna go ahead and cut it because it's already an hour and 4. Do you guys have anything else to say before we end? You sure?
It was a good episode.
Segura.
I just want to say, everyone's a leader.
Yep.
In your household, you're a leader. So do your best to lead by example.
Yep. That was good. I like that. Everyone is a leader. Be leaders, make disciples, and teach.
Yes.
But yeah, if you guys are struggling finding a leader, kind of go based off some stuff that we say. Take notes. You know, if you guys need help, if you know, whatever, DM us, reach us, like and subscribe. But like Andres said, we're all leaders. Let's all lead by example. Let's all love, and let's work on getting better. All of us, every single day, every single minute, be better and better than how you were the day before that. But I'll leave you guys with the saying: God loves you, God cherishes you, God is always with you, and shalom.
Shalom.